Well, good morning. We're definitely excited about this week. I know our players are looking forward to playing a top quality opponent like Notre Dame in front of a great atmosphere at our stadium, and it's just a tremendous opportunity for our football team this Saturday night. So, um, once again, we got to learn from the last game and how to correct some mistakes and get better and be more efficient and uh, try to play as solid as we can for 60 minutes. And we'll work hard on this week on doing that and also preparing for Notre Dame. I think when you look at Notre Dame, extremely talented, very good on film, very, very strong on defense, strong, athletic, will cover you. They rank in the top in the nation in a lot of categories. So it'll be a challenge for us to be efficient and move the football. And on offense, they're going to pound you and run the football and utilize their experienced quarterback, really good running back, and tight end, and work from there. So we'll have our hands full. We're going to have to, win a lot of the small battles, not turn the ball over, be efficient, be good in the red zone, find ways to get turnovers, and that's going to be the recipe for trying to come out with a victory. But I know we're looking forward to playing a really high quality opponent on our home field.
What was NC State able to do to make it as hard as it was to run the ball compared to the previous games before that?
Well, NC State blitzed us, and they blitzed us a lot. And they had everybody up there stopping the run and getting after the quarterback. And obviously, we didn't have enough good answers to counter that. I think as we look back on it, finding ways to have answers for all-out pressure. I mean, this was all-out pressure, cover zero pressure that I could have done a better job of helping us protect some things up and throw the ball over their head. I think when you looked at when we finally made plays, it was throwing the ball over their head because they were sitting on routes, stacking the box, and coming after the quarterback. We missed a few things protection-wise, but you know what? We could have had a better answer for all that as we look back on it. So that's on me. So we got to make sure that we got to help our quarterback. Anytime your quarterback gets hit a lot, it's going to affect him. It affected their quarterback as well. So I just think it was a good defensive battle that luckily we found a way to get enough plays in the second half to get some points. But, it was tough to get running yards with all those guys stacked up in there.
When you have a ranked matchup, sold-out crowd, primetime TV, all the fanfare, how do you keep that from being too much of a distraction to practice and keeping your guys locked in?
I actually don't think it'll be a distraction. Our guys have worked really hard. They know what's ahead of us. We try to treat everything as a one-game season. Without question, this is a unbelievable opportunity for our football team to go out and play a high-quality opponent. And, as I've said earlier in the season, the schedule just continues to get tougher and tougher and more challenging, which means we got to get better and better. And we have to get better each and every week in order to win. And that'll be a constant throughout the rest of the season. And it'll start this week. But you know what? When you have your fans behind you and on the field and loud and in the stands, you gotta feed off that. So we got to find ways to be efficient, make some plays, get them behind us, affect the other team, and use that as ways to gain an advantage.
Hey Jeff, how does it make you feel being the older brother and seeing your brother get the recognition that he so rightfully deserves?
Well, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I forgot all about that. Brian is our little brother, but yes, he's very talented and he's accomplished a lot. I think he was a great player, and I think we all got a chance to watch him play. Just a tremendous passing quarterback who did a lot of great things. And I think now that we have him on staff, he's bright, he's very smart, He's always had great poise in the pocket and very calm, unlike myself. So I applaud him for that. And he helps our quarterback. So I just think, any great players that we've had come through here, it's great to recognize. And obviously Brian did some great things. So we're definitely very happy for him. And hopefully we can have a good day on Saturday.
Hartman's a very experienced guy, been around for a while. He had one of the worst games of his career here last year. when you go against him, what are the things that you have to be most aware of, and what does he do most effectively?
Well, anytime you have that experience, it's a plus, and he definitely utilizes that. He's very calm in the pocket. He's played a lot of football. He's played a lot of different offenses. This offense fits him very well because they run the football, utilize the tight ends, ask him to do enough but not carry the football team on his back. But when he has to, he can do that for sure. So I think as you watch him play, just like every quarterback, and just what they did to him here last year, if you can apply some pressure and get after him and make the decisions harder for him, cover receivers tighter and get in the backfield, it affects everybody. It definitely affected him this past year when they played him. So that's a key for everybody, and definitely for a guy with this type of experience. As you look at the last game against Duke, he was very efficient. There was a period there where they got after him and blitzed him quite a bit, and they had him on his heels. And then when they dropped 8 on 4th and 16 to try to seal the game, he made him pay for it. So I just think he's very smart. He's very intelligent. He's played a lot of football, and if you make one or two mistakes, he's going to capitalize and score and turn it into touchdowns.
Jeff, a couple questions. Number one, defensively for Notre Dame, are they any similar to NC State, or do they do things totally different? And when you were at Trinity and got to be a senior, I know Notre Dame came after Brian and
Well, going back to Notre Dame defense, this will be the most talented defense we'll play to date, without question. I mean, they've got talent and size and athleticism at all the positions. Up front, they're big and stout and stop the run and get after the quarterback. The linebacking core is athletic. They can run and tackle, and it shows up on film. And in the secondary, some really, really good players led by a dominant corner on one side. And they don't give up many yards in the passing game, so they're going to guard you and man you up and going to apply pressure at the same time and not give up a lot of easy completions. So, this is it'll be a great challenge for us on offense to be efficient, move the ball, and get points. When it comes to Notre Dame, I think anytime you go to the high school we went to, Notre Dame is a part of the action. And yeah, they recruited me. At the time, I had a scholarship offer there, but they had Rick Meyer as a commitment, who's the number one quarterback in the country. Even though I'm not real smart, I knew that, I probably shouldn't go there. And if Rick Meyer's going there, if I want to see the field, so that ruled that one out. But you know what? A ton of history, ton of tradition, won a lot of football games, and I think anytime you get a chance to play them, it's exciting for your players and your fans.
Jeff, even though the yards weren't there for Jawar, what kind of things did you see on tape, where he was trying to adjust to that, trying to push harder, and how do you feel like an experience like that will help him going forward?
Well, Jawar did a fine job. There just wasn't a whole lot of holes to open, a whole lot of holes to run in. And, we tried to establish a little bit of run early on, got a few chunks here and there. And then I think they just kind of bottled us up and then, of course, got a lead, which does affect the amount of runs that you're going to be able to run if you're trying to make a comeback. I think we, finally made a few plays in the passing game in the second half to help kind of get us going. But, yes, we'd like to find the ways to get him a little more space to run the football because that's when he's at his best. But he played hard. He hung in there, and it was just one of those games where, the running game wasn't as efficient as we would like it to be. And I think that's why you got to be good at both. And it doesn't mean you got to be 50-50. You just got to be good at both because you never know when you're going to have to use each and every one of those. So luckily we had some success in the passing game to help us come back and get a lead. And I just think we have to continue to, execute both the running and passing game. And without question, our best players, including Jawar, need to touch the ball quite a bit.
Jeff, just curious, Marcus Freeman was on the staff that you guys replaced at Purdue.
Who'd you say?
Marcus Freeman.
Oh, yes.
I'm just curious if you guys had any conversations during that kind of crossover or, talking, or was there any consideration of bringing him on the staff when you were at Purdue that first year?
Well, sure there was. I think Marcus is a really, really fine coach. He's coached a lot of football. He was a great player. anytime you come in as a new staff, you talk to everybody and see where everything stands. And he had opportunities, and things didn't happen where we kept him on there. But he went and had great success since, and he's done a great job as a defensive coordinator and as a head coach. He's at one of the most prestigious schools in the country, leading them right now, and they're playing really good football at a high level. So I think he's done a fantastic job. So he's got really good coaches on his staff, and we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to coach well, play well, and really be efficient in how we're doing things in all three segments, because this is a well-coached football team led by Coach Freeman.
Then obviously you guys had a lot of transfers come in, no new system, new everything. But I guess what do you attribute to just things working as well as they have in terms of just guys making big plays and the defense coming up the way that they have been able to last week?
Well, I think one of the things we really don't talk about all the new players we're going to have this past year, because I think it's going to happen every year. I think every year you're going to have new players arrive with the way this transfer portal is set up. So what you do is you get them here as fast as you can, hopefully get them here in the spring. If not, you get them here in the summer. There's times in the summer months to kind of get them on the field on their own and get a plan together where they can work on their own without us legally being out there, and which you have to utilize. And then in fall camp, you gotta put it all together, and you've got to get as many reps in as you can. So I think that our guys have practiced a lot. They should understand what we're doing. Obviously, there's some nuances that we got to continue to correct that does take a little time. There was some things in the past game we weren't as precise on that we need to be better at and crisper at. So we got to work hard at getting better at that. But these guys have worked hard, and they play hard, and they play to the end. So I give them all the credit. They hung in there when things didn't look good at halftime and we hadn't scored a point. We're down by 10 points, and they were positive, and they knew we'd kind of been there before, down at halftime and up at halftime, and things didn't go as well. So we just had to figure it out and play hard, and but they were into it, and I give them a lot of credit. They played hard to the very end. They finished the game. They didn't give up. They don't point fingers, and they know that, because we talk about it. They know that every game is probably going to be like that. If we can have some that aren't, that's great. But every game is going to go down to the wire, and you've got to be able to just hang in there and play tough for 60 minutes and block out a couple of negative things that happen along the way and just kind of try to overcome it. And when it's over, you look at the scoreboard and hope that you have enough points. But these guys have done a good job to this point.
Three-part question. In a state that doesn't historically produce a lot of elite prospects, you and Kentucky are both 5-0, both ranked. How do you explain that? Do you think it's sustainable? And how much does NIL play into that?
Well, I just think that, I can speak for us. You try to put a plan together and go out there and try to win football games. And through 5 games, we've been able to do just enough to get that done. So beyond that, I don't know what's going to happen the next week or the next week. So I just think we got to continue to get better and work through it. And we'll see what our record is at the end, and that's kind of how we approach it. But I know up the road they've had a good start. They're well coached. They've had success. They can run the football. They play great defense, and I think anytime you can play great defense and run the football, you're going to have a chance to win. So if you can get those elements going and find a way to be effective in the passing game to create big plays, you should have a chance to win in every game, as long as you're doing the small things. And other than that, it's nothing more than trying to do our part as coaches and our part as players and go out there and compete to win. And, right now, we've got off to, a pretty decent start, and so have they. So we just got to continue on our part. We have bigger challenges ahead of us. We got to figure out ways to win the next football game.
You guys are ranked for the first time in a long time. Is there a sense of pride that comes with that, seeing that number next to your name, or is it just something you just look at it and just keep it moving, don't think anything of it?
Well, I think, for our fans and our players' families, anything like that is always great. For us, the ranking at the end is what matters, and we understand that. I've been on teams where we've started 6-0 and we lost the next 6. I've been on other teams where we've started bad and we found a way to win a lot of big games. So this thing can change really fast. And as soon as you think that you're comfortable going in the right direction, you're going to get hit in the mouth and knocked to the ground. So we got to push forward. This team we're playing, if we're not really ready to play and hitting on all cylinders, it'll be a long day, and we have to play really good football in order to win. And I think we know that some mistakes we've made in the last few weeks, we've got to correct them and try not to allow them to happen again, and really play a tough brand of football if we want to win against Notre Dame.
With the 5-0 start, and then this is a national TV game against a team like Notre Dame, how have you noticed more response from recruits and stuff to what you guys are interested in, and how big of a showcase will this game be for what you want to do?
Well, I think so. I think the recruiting is always important. That part has gone pretty well to this point. Everything matters: developing relationships, winning football games, showing to them a plan for them to help them achieve their goals, get to the next level, and we just got to continue to work through that as we're playing during the season. And then, of course, whether it's high school recruits or transfer recruits, we've got to be in the ball game and ready to compete. And so, yes, winning matters. So I think it's important that we go out and play a good brand of football this week and try to find a way to win. And if you just keep pushing forward, the recruiting can pick up even more. And we've got I think a good plan together to try to do the best job to continue to bring in great prospects that want to be a part of it. And we got a lot to sell with a tremendous stadium and great fan base and good young hungry players and coaching staff that I think works really hard to help develop our guys and do it the right way. So everything matters, and of course winning football games is very important.
Jeff, how much did you maybe deliberate doing something other than kicking a 53-yarder, and any hesitation there in sending Brock out there, having already missed one in that game?
Well, you know what? I always want to kick because I feel confident that Brock can kick it out there pretty far, and he's got experience. I mean, anybody that can punt and kick and do all those things, he's a really tough young man and athletic. When we decided, there was a little debate of whether that was too far, and I think Carl may have said to me, "Are you sure you want to kick?" And I said, "You know what? Let's." I'm not going to say I was 100% for sure, but I said, no, we need to go try to make this kick. I've seen him kick it this far before and try to get some points. And luckily, sometimes it works, it doesn't. But the one he missed earlier, he didn't hit it solid. I thought he rushed it just a tad bit, and it was from there. It was just like, hey, just get a solid foot on this thing and kick it out there, and he got a solid foot on it. So of course it helped us win the game. And but Brock's been steady. I mean, he's I know he missed a one, but he's been steady and he works really hard, and he's a valuable component, to us winning football games. He helped us, win the Georgia Tech game, and he's just been a really good kicker through 5 games.